Well, hello there. Welcome to my mind. Surprised you didn't recognize it. You're right on time to hear a story from Versions, where I try to survive 100 days of hardcore Minecraft in every version of the game. Today, we're in 1.10. This update came out on June 8th, 2016, and it's one that some might say lacked the je ne sais quoi that others have. And I see their point. With only 4 new blocks and 3 mobs, it does leave something to be desired, but I don't see it that way, as it's the halfway point of this series. That's right, exciting stuff. As long as Mojang doesn't release 1.22, or 26.1 as they're calling it, which they might. So I guess technically this isn't the halfway point, but right now it is. So this one was quite special to me. So without further ado, let's look back in time to the Frostburn update. Spawning in, I am happy to announce I got my Steve suit on. No more identity crisis. So I got going on the usual. Finding random leather made me question which horse killed this one. While trying to craft, I got jumped by a horde of zombies. But they got no sunscreen, so I took their cobble and headed out. This place was full of horses. Would have been very good for 1.6. Going mining now, I had enough iron for almost a full set of armor, which feels good enough to take on this Enderman, but no pearl. I wonder who did this. Huh? Dogs are vicious right now, but no time to waste. I have goals I need to accomplish, you see. First was to find the frozen landscape. Second, set up base on frozen landscape. And third, to test my survival skills in the harsh frozen landscape by completing a pretty base and killing the ender dragon. But I did get distracted by a huge birch tree. 11 blocks. Not as tall as my crimson tree though. I couldn't stay for long though, as I had a date with destiny. Finding exactly what I was looking for. A frozen biome. A wasteland where only the fittest survive and the weak die. Where it didn't take long to find the strongest of them all. A polar bear. They even have a tail. But they don't like it when you look straight at it. This place will be my home. I shall put my survival skills to the test in the harshest land in this blocky world. It helped that I found an igloo, which were added back in 1.9 by the way. Crazy, right? I would have thought now. This one didn't have the best entrance, but that's alright. Parkour. What it did have was a cozy place to call home. And a secret base. Looks like I haven't unlocked that character. It has all the ingredients of a home, but I gotta explore first. Ice melts when you use the furnace by the way, so a bit of an oversight. I took care of the problem by adding glass, and had a great but perhaps chilly first night's sleep in my new home. The next day, I really didn't want to be part of the stupid deaths, so I covered up the hole. And proceeded to opening up the entrance to my secret base. Don't tell anyone. The last tenants were still moving out, so I helped them speed up the process. And by the end, I was able to move in. But that was it down there, as I wanted to test out the boats on ice. I remember it didn't work in 1.2, so I was hoping in the frozen update the boats could go fast. And they do! Until you fall in the water. This chaos helped me find a baby. A polar bear baby. Which might be the cutest mob in the game. At the moment. Look at him. He's a sausage. I also found another igloo. With another secret entrance. Another one. But not secret. This one did. So I tested out the healing mechanics and let me tell you, it's loud. Back home, I spawned in the guys that are gonna help me frost up the place. This guy decided not to move when I just wanted one shot. So I pushed him. Going mining now, not just for diamonds, but more importantly, a clock. With my pick holding up for just the right amount. Then it was back to base building, with intruders getting the balls. I knew eventually I was gonna need sugarcane, so I made a farm. And placed a snow golem as its security guard. Protected with your life. I also took their snow. They don't mind. Day 14 was special, as I finally started shaping the base the way I wanted it to look like. It does require long snow getting sessions though, and skills. While I was working, a skeleton killed my snow golem. Which is sad, but understandable. But not too sad, as the roof was completed. It's looking pretty bland, but out of sight, out of mind, as I made a bunch of maps and started to check out my land. It might seem desolate to you, but I see home. But that might be because I'm Canadian. Maps are expensive though, so item gathering was on the to-dos. With me needing one more sapling, I prayed for the last leaf to drop it.
The snowballs are blessing you.
And it worked! So I planted a 2x2 spruce next to my house, and started chopping. But it only dropped one sapling. Should have used the balls. I got distracted by another hole on the ground, this time behind my house. So I went down to my base and connected the 2 ravines. I made sure to place support beams, but I wasn't sure on the design. I ran out of wood pretty quickly, but at least I had enough for the walls. This cave is what protected me from the cold, harsh winds of the frozen tundra. but I was getting too cozy. So I took my maps and continued expanding my ownership of the land. If I map it, it's mine. Conquistador style. After planting more 2x2s, I made a mine. With no close calls. You're making me look bad in front of my friends. I mined down until I reached bedrock. So I proceeded to continue on my hunt for diamonds, but I was unsuccessful. So on my way up, I placed stairs. Got a new pick and continued. But again, no diamonds. This is what I get for doing a 3x3 hole. So this time I chose a different white level. Here I went for a long time, a very long time. And still no diamonds. I was trying so hard because of ego and because I wanted to go to the nether. So I had to resort to scooping lava up and running back and forth. But after a while, I was finally ready to go deeper. I slowly made my way into the fortress where I didn't just loot, I beheaded. Not just one, but 2 wither skeletons. Something strange was in the air. I had 2 wither heads before I even got a blaze rod. So I continued looting, but I was mostly here for the blaze rods. I kept trying to get a 3rd head though, knowing I had to fight the weather now at some point. I made a tunnel connecting my portal to the fortress to hunt for the 3rd head. But that's a future me problem, as right now I'm more focused on my map room. I was a little short on glowstone, so I did have to go back and get some, but no weather heads on this trip. After finishing the square, I added the final touches, but I didn't like it. An enderman was nice enough to walk into my spider web, but not nice enough to stay in it. Clearing land in front of my igloo, as that's where my map room is gonna be. This got me thinking, how far to the left does it go? So after a nice sunset, I set off, on one direction, until I reached the ocean, and the results will shock you. This land is bigger than I thought, so I decided to do the same thing the opposite way. But I was just short, so I ran back home, almost falling to my death in my own backyard, so I closed it off before I did anything else. But once I was home, it was map making time, so I made the one map I was missing and got her down. I call it my equator. After spending so much time in the cold, I needed to warm up. So I went headhunting. No close calls though. Only far ones. Spawning rates were pretty good, but no luck on the drops. So once I ran out of food, it was time to head home. This wasn't the end of the hunt though, as after food I was right back to where I was. No weather was safe from me. Or this skeleton, which somehow got ahead before me. But it's okay. It's not stealing if they already weather away. Finally, a 3rd head. Did I think I was going to be fighting the weather in this version? Especially as this might be the poorest I've ever been on this series? No. But when life gives you lemonade, you fight the weather. Luck was still around as I got another pearl and completed my wall decor. I'm super poor though, so down in the mines I go, finding an iron zombie. I kept him as a pet. He was hoarding a notch apple. Hopefully I won't have to eat it. Then finally, the moment we were all waiting for. Well, I was waiting for. Diamonds. I was slightly amused. Curse must have been broken as more diamonds started to pop by. So I made my first diamond pick on day 47. Seriously, what the? Got obsidian and made an enchanting table. But I didn't enchant as I got no books, so in search for knowledge I went. The pearl nicely turned around at the border, meaning the stronghold was in what's turning out to be a pretty fruitful wasteland. While going to it, I got attacked by a polar bear, but I didn't get it on camera, so please, you gotta believe me. I continued searching until an eye broke. So down I went, finding a spawner and the stronghold. While getting knowledge, I also got a pearl, and found the portal. 0 eyes. The game must have felt sorry for me as I put one on the next chest I opened. So I placed the 3 eyes I had and started to make my way back through the nether. I had run out of food again, but I made it back home safely. And with knowledge. So I enchanted my pick. And bow. I'll take it. I tried placing item frames on the floor, but not a thing at the moment. So I moved on to making a new room for my 2 trapped friends. They're gonna be living in luxury. But first, I got a pearl. They made a rail to protect them from falling. Looks pretty nice if I do say so myself, but it uses a lot of wood. Finally, you can smelt netherrack. More importantly, my favorite block in the game has been added. Absolute banger of a block. Knowing I was gonna need a bunch of this block, I got going on a farm. Doesn't look like much, but it's a start. Then while gathering blocks, something completely unexpected happened. Another head! Wow, 4 heads now. My farm was completed, but this creeper did spoil the party a bit. Using the red nether brick, I started to experiment with the vibe design. And let me tell you, it's a vibe. So I gathered all my netherrack to smelt. Getting a pearl, another one. I let a zombie with an iron sword hit me to see the damage. which turned out to be a mistake because I had run out of food. So I had to eat them. Going outside, I saw pigs, so I got wheat. But these pigs are the updated kind, so I updated to eat them. Almost starving again, I continued to eat them, until I found chickens. And these guys do follow me, so getting more seeds on the way, I kept an eye out on the wolves nearby. Then I fell into lava. Luckily, no chickens were harmed. Once at my base, the chickens parachuted down, and I got to go to bed with a set of fans. The next day, I got to work in making their pens more cozy, adding a snowy floor and a frozen wall. Over half the days gone by, and finally I got a basic achievement. So I got to setting up a farm for my 5 seeds. I made a diamond pick which I enchanted for fortune. Got efficiency 4. So I went down to the nether and got myself right back to level 30, picking up soul sand in the process. I enchanted an iron pickaxe now as I don't like to gamble with valuables. Good thing too, has no fortune. So I harvested my nether wart with my non-fortune hand. Still super satisfying though. Day 68 was all about snow. This is what I call a working day. I experimented with a few ways of crafting it, and settled on having snow in one slot of my inventory and using the number keys to teleport it. I finished up by reaching level 30 again. Gambling again, I got Silk Touch. Huge bummer when looking for fortune. As you can see, I was very excited to see fortune pop up. So I leveled up again, made a diamond pick, and enchanted it. I also combined my old pickaxes together, knowing that lots of diamonds were on their way. I immediately put my fortune to use by harvesting wheat. I am in the need of seeds. I got to work on the walls, first by getting the shape a bit better. I seem to have been very impressed by it. I added snow to the walls and a leaky roof, so I patched up the walls and continued theming up my cave. Eggs are weird in this version, they don't seem to want to hit anything, or my aim is just bad. I continued doing some touches here and there, and by the end I was looking pretty good, especially in the nether wart. I kept making my way down to the connection area, and more cinematic shots. I was very excited to what had to be done next, harvesting the nether wart with my fortune 3 pickaxe. It's the little things. I was happy with the amount I was left with, until I crafted only 3.5 stacks, but no worries, because damn, does it look good. No spoilies though. I ran out pretty quickly though, so I ran down to the caves for my favorite pastime. I don't know if it was what I ate or the podcast I was listening to, but I was blessed by Lady Luck. I bet you can't guess how many diamonds I got. Here, I'll guess with you. 3, 2, 1, 43. Oh, what? So close. Using those diamonds for a diamond sword, I saw Smite 5 was the next enchantment. So I ran to the nether, got level 30 and enchanted. The weather has no clue what's coming. Getting my Silk Touch pick out, I got ice, making sure to replenish the lake afterwards. I put that ice on the roof, away from lights. Only issue is that you can barely see it. I also put it in the nether to test out if it becomes water. There was a glitch going on where my roof was gone, but nothing that turning on and off won't fix. I then harvested my wheat, bred my chickens, and started sprucing up the place and myself with a full set of diamond armor. Looking fancy, I went out to hunt for endermen, finding a new mob. Strays! I really liked their design. Killing a bunch of endermen, I came back empty-handed. Or so I thought. I had a potato, which not that big of a deal. Call me when it's a carrot. And enderman was nice enough to come by my chicken pen, but not nice enough to drop a pearl. I harvested my nether wart, getting pretty much the same amount as before. This appeared to take me far, but it lied. I still have a huge chunk missing. The second night of enderman hunting was much better. I ended up with 3 pearls and continued work on the chickens. They were ready for harvest, which lucky for me as I run out of food again. So almost starving, I devoured the chicken. I enchanted my chestplate and headed out for a 3rd night of hunting. I had help from a polar bear taking down 2 strays for me. Then it was back to hunting. Another lucky night with 3 pearls. I spent the whole day preparing for the dragon and weather fight by breaking gravel. In the night, I continued my journey getting the last 2 pearls I needed. So I watched the sunrise. And an enderman was kind enough to give me an extra pearl. But then I got lost, so maybe that was his plan all along. I explored my land, finding cows. I took down their coordinates and killed more pigs, because you guessed it, I ran out of food again. The next day, I found an ice spikes biome. I had no idea they were in the game. I didn't have my Silk Touch pick with me, so I just marveled how different packed ice looks. Very cool biome. From there, I had to make my way back to the end portal, as I didn't write down the coordinates for my igloo, so this was the next best thing. On my way back, I reached level 30 and noticed the ice was gone. Writing the coordinates down first thing out of the portal. I put my pearls back and pay attention to this. It clearly says looting 3 for my iron sword, but once I put a diamond one in, it changed to looting 2. Get this out of here. I took my frustration out on a creeper and an enderman. Got some obsidian and in the nether my new portal to diamonds. Not my intended target, but I'll take it. I made my way out to the ice spikes biome. I guess the portal considers this an ocean because of the ice. In the morning I started collecting the packed ice. I took down a whole spike and moved my portal up to the surface. I made this side a bit safer with walls, took down a gas, and back home I decorated with my new blocks. This one looks way better than normal ice. You are not allowed to craft them, so very happy I found it. Blue ice is not a thing either. Doing my current favorite thing, I crafted up them blocks and filled up the hole. I even had enough to start work on the downstairs areas. I kept having to clear out endermen. Where were they when I needed pearls? Continuing on the renovations, I worked on the walls and the lighting. But on day 92, it was hunting time, for gas. I wanted potions for the weather fight, so first one didn't give it to me. But second one did. And I got up to level 30 again, and enchanted my pants. I was taking no risks on this one. Putting them on, it was time for potions. Grabbing everything I needed, I power up this bad boy. I missed my wireless from 1.0. Then I got my regen potions. The weather has no idea what's coming. But it's not time yet. So instead, I worked on my home, adding fences and support beams so it doesn't collapse on me. I played around with the wall design, settling on the 2 openings instead of the 3. This base uses a lot of materials, so I used today to gather them. I got tired of iron tools breaking super fast though, so I upgraded my axe and shovel. With my fancy new tools, I updated the home of my iron zombie and other parts of the base, like the floor leading up to my mine and lots of walls. Finishing up on the roof, I took a break by crafting an anvil and took care of my chickens. Then it was time for the roof. Then a bit of walls, then back to the roof. I ran out of magma, but after a quick run to the nether, it was time to design the walls of my lab. Finishing up on day 98, I moved the villagers into their new home. This process was painful, but after a bit of pushing, they were in. With my villagers out of their cages and into their safe new lab, it was time to prepare for the weather fight. I was very scared. I knew how fast it killed me last time, so I knew I had to be better. Setting it up on the mines to protect the environment, I summoned the weather for a second time in versions. Will I kill it? Will it kill me again? I drank my regen potion and started shooting. And oh boy, did it melt like butter. I did it! I did it! With the demons of my past now slain, I moved on to parading the star. Huh? Huh? I crafted up the beacon and settled it up on the roof of my igloo. But it needed a base of iron, so now my roof is super heavy. Oh, and I'll never get lost again. Going through the nether, I got returned to sender. Yep, this was random for me to edit too. Was going to leave it out, but it's a pretty cool achievement, so I decided not to. I was on my way to the stronghold. Has its dragon fighting time. That's right, 2 boss fights in 1 video. You guys are spoiled. Starting off, I ender pearl onto land. Shot a couple of towers, set it up my infinite water source, you know, the usual. Taking down the metal towers, Little Miss Dragon pushed me off, but this ends too quick for that. Replenishing all my pearl, I did the last tower. This part is where I can finally relax. Getting one of the best dragon kill shots of this series. How good was that? I gather up all my hard-earned XP. If you guessed I will be level 71, you will be correct. Grabbing the egg, I hopped into the portal. Realizing I was very, very far from my base. But I got back just in time to get this shot of day 100 in front of my igloo. I put the egg in its new home, and it's finally time for a base tour. And that's everything for this episode. Thanks for watching 1.10 and come back next week for version 1.11, the exploration update. Okay, time to place a bunch of these guys, and I'm not gonna cheap out. I was going to cheap out, but I'm not cheaping out. See? Full block. I'm gonna miss 1.10. That one, it's a good one. Banger. It's a chill one. Okay, bye bye.